Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Ezo. This is my forever co-host John, and today we continue our third-year anniversary lineup with Seven Samurai, another generation-defining movie since we did Dune 2, which defines our generation of the 2020s. This defined a generation of like forever, the golden age. I don't know what you call the generation of the 50s and 60s anymore. I really don't. I'm missing out on terms, but yeah, that generation. And yeah, to be fair, this is a 4-hour movie, so we're not gonna go beat by beat.
Yeah, dude, holy shit! Because like at some points I would like be when I was watching this, because like I had other shit to do. Like, I'll straight up be like, "Oh, it's two like in the morning."
Yeah,
And I am like 1 hour into this movie. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just continue it in the morning."
yeah,
And I was watching it throughout the morning, and I was just like, "Is this still going on? Like, what the fuck?"
yeah,
Like as good as this movie is, it is absurdly long, and of course we'll have our thoughts about it.
yeah. Like if you're working on dot, you're like, I really need to pick my battles, and like,
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, this is directed by the legendary director Akira Kurosawa, and he's been the inspiration for a lot of directors, like George Lucas is one of them. Like he, obviously the Jedi are inspired by the samurai, and even I forgot the name of the drunken one, the actor, the Sichiro Mifune. I think that's how you
Ah,
pronounce it.
Stitcher Bufune. Ah, okay.
He
Yeah.
he was supposed to be Obi-Wan in Episode 4, but negotiations fell apart, or something fell apart,
That would have been fucking sick.
right?
Yeah,
Um, but
but yeah.
oh well. But yeah, how did you come to this legendary movie?
Well, not gonna lie, I only watched it once, like within the pandemic, because like there was this new video game that was coming out, and it was called
Ghost
well,
of Tsushima.
like I like samurai movies, and I love like no, I love the like old Japanese movies. So I was like, but I've never tried uh a Kurosawa movie, and then I watched this one, but and like rewatching it, I forgot how fucking long it is. Again, you gotta mention the time because there is an intermission here
Yeah,
in this fucking movie, so that's
yeah.
how fucking long it is.
You know what? I forget how hype Ghost of Tsushima was because that was part of my preparation for the game was coming out. I was like, I'm gonna watch all the samurai movies, and like honestly, like I've always heard of this movie. Like when I've been like listening to podcasts of like people would be like, "Oh, Seven Samurai is one of the greatest movies of all time. It's one of the best. It's," and a lot of people's like number one. If you're
Yeah,
like for like cinephiles especially, they're like, oh, Seven Samurai is like a must watch movie if you love movies. And like watching it the first time, I'm like, one, I'm like, wow, this is really long, and two, wow, this is so well put together. I cannot complain about the length because it is so engrossing. Like
it
I,
did.
same reason why I don't really complain about the length of Return of the King, which is again 4 hours, but I'm just like, I can't just stop this. Be on
Yeah,
proper.
it, but I will say, if let's say you're not used to watching old movies, this might be a little bit of a difficult one for you
Yeah,
because it does have a lot of the old movie tropes where it is. I'm gonna let out my complaints for this now.
yeah,
At some points, there is no music.
yeah,
There's a little bit of music when it's like on downtime, but when there's a battle, it's just straight up just sound effects
yeah,
and yelling. Uh, so there is no gravitas to the moment.
yeah,
But it is like again, you're thinking about it, it's in the 50s,
yeah,
and they're working with what they got, and then like you get this, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And the second one, I will say is there's a lot of things that I think directors don't do anymore, and for sure it's just an old thing now. And it is they they like to get to the point a little bit faster
yeah,
nowadays. Here you will see one character walking back and forth maybe for a solid 30 minutes. Oh, sorry, 30 minutes. 30 seconds before he says anything, and you're just like, wow, there's a lot of empty time and like waste of film, kind of deal. And it's like this is why the movie takes a little bit of a long time because there's sometimes a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
But it it's horrible for me to say nonsense because it does build the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it builds the
Yeah.
characters, especially like our titular Seven Samurai. I do like how this movie is broken up into three acts. One being the assembly of the Seven Samurai, two being
Mm.
them being integrated into the village they're supposed to protect, and three being the battle of that village.
And yeah, and by the way, I thought Toshiro Mofune's character, what's his name? Uh, Kikuchio, uh, like was supposed to be the main character.
Yeah.
I know, but he's not the main character. The main ringleader here, the entire thing is Kanbei, played by Takeshi Shimura.
Yeah.
I was the absolute goat of a character.
Yeah.
Like this guy was awesome.
Him and Kayuzo are my two favorites. Like the very stoic swordsman.
Yeah, where he like runs into like the fog of war,
Yeah.
comes back with a gun. He's like, I got two, and I'm like, I was like, no, you only brought one gun. I was like, no, I got two. Oh,
Oh, you killed to get got you. And he's based
Yeah.
off a very famous swordsman. Let me see if I see it. He's based off Miyamoto Musashi, who's the most famous
Miyamoto
sword.
Musashi.
Yeah, who's the most famous swordsman in Japan. And you see it, you're like,
If I get it, dude. If anyone's a fan, especially for like Miyamoto Musashi, Vagabond. It's an amazing manga, drawn and written by the guy who made Slam Dunk.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, one of the stories I know about him is that he beat his opponent with a boat oar. And I'm like, that's fucking metal, dude.
He carved this. He carved a katana out of a boat oar,
Yeah.
and then beat the guy to death.
Oh man, but yeah,
Yeah,
you can tell how well paced the introduction of these characters are. They really set up like how each of these characters works. And I forgot what's the name of the leader again.
Kanbei.
Yeah, you can tell how he goes in with a plan. Like that's how he goes into this battle of like, we're here, you're here, and then we'll just draw two in at a time, kill them. We'll go into the other army come in of bandits, and then we'll just finish them off two by two.
Yeah.
Kanabe is really a tactician.
Is it? I thought it was Kanbei. Kanabe.
Kanabe, one of us
Kanabe?
must be right
Okay,
or wrong.
well, either one.
Yeah,
But like, I love him though, because again, he's a great leader.
yeah,
He's a little great leader character. But when you get introduced to him, he's a monk.
yeah,
He's like a man of peace.
Yeah.
And like, there's this student, I forgot his name. Like a guy who wants to be his like pupil.
yeah,
Straight up like comes to him. He's like, "You're a great samurai. Like, I want to learn from you." And he's like, "I've been a leader of many battles, and they all have been losses." And like, ooh, that kind of goes hard. The fact that he's our main character.
yeah, and sets up the ending of like, oh, I get what you mean. Shit.
Yeah, and he still loses, which is such a tough thing. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah. I do love the introduction to Kayuzo when the guy's like, what if it's really steel swords? I'm sure I'll beat you. And you're just like, I don't think you will, man. I think he's going to kill you in a second. And he does. And you're like, well, it's your loss, buddy. Sorry about that.
I mean, you asked for it. It was Japan.
Yeah.
What do you expect from feudal Japan?
I also do like the fact that the villagers are wary because this is a time when samurai would ravage the countryside, and that's where they're like, we don't trust you, we need you, but at the same time we've seen the horrors of war. That's what Mifune's character is like. Do you not get it that for years samurai have been terrorizing these people, killing them, like burning their villages, doing horrible things to them, and you're so dumbfounded? And then Kanabe is like, oh, you have a point. And two, you were a farmer too, weren't you? And he's just like,
Yeah, or like a farmer's kid.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that scene where he actually comes back with armor and gear.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it came from dead samurai,
Yeah.
and it, it is a little bit like I love it that it was written
Yeah.
at this time in this period of time, because like they would be like, yeah, it's very hypocritical of you to be like, how dare you kill samurai for like armor and weapons,
Yeah.
when clearly you killed and did other horrible things to villagers, and still you asked for their food, and
Yeah.
you know.
And you wonder why they withhold their food. They don't give you anything. They're like, sure, you can stay in our place, but we won't give you the nice places.
Yeah.
And you're still like, how come? You're like, what do you mean? Where have you been these past, I don't know, 100 years?
It's
Uh,
like read history.
yeah. I do buy the chemistry though, with the young samurai and the girl from the village. I do feel bad for her by the end when her dad like freaks out and just starts hitting you. You're like, Jesus Christ! Don't know what's more terrifying, the bandits or you? Stop that!
Yeah. What is with the character of what's his name again? Like Kiriki?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like there's like a little bit of mystery to him, and I don't understand it. Like, who is he? And he has like women's clothing in his house,
yeah,
but he has no wife.
right.
And so I was like, I didn't want to assume shit, but I was like, does he have like a mom or sister that died, and that's the only thing that he has? Is he vengeful in the heart, or is he gay? Because
Yeah,
they did ask him, was like, will you ever get married? Because like everybody here who ever, like the people here who are married
yeah,
are working way harder. When are you gonna get married? And he's like, he gets mad and storms off. So I was like, I was like, is that any clue of
yeah.
like what his character is?
Yeah,
'Cause they never explain it. They
yeah,
never explain it.
yeah. Like, man, we're just busting your balls. You don't have to be such a wuss about it. Come on.
Yeah. You know, it's so weird because it's such a such a 50s movie. It's like all the teachers like he calls his daughter like one of like Manbu like calls his daughter broken merchandise or something like that,
Yeah,
because he lost her virginity to a samurai, and he's like calling her horrible names when Kitty or whatever his name was comes in. He's like, "Love, why can't you fucking see that? You know, why can't that be?" And yeah,
yeah. You're like, man, we're in the heart of a battle. It's been raging on for days. We need some stress reliever, and if it's love, so be it.
by the way, I want to talk about that. I really do. It takes a while to get to the battle. It's a lot of character building and a
Yeah,
lot of world building,
a
and
lot of training too.
once a lot of training and a lot of planning. Trust me, the planning stage was for me a little bit of a snooze fest. But like, it's like legit, it's straight up silence. They're not saying anything. You just hear birds chirping
Yeah,
and the wind rustling, and you see like Kanbei like point at a part of a map, and he's like, "Mm-hmm."
yeah,
Like, right. But yeah. Anyway, we get to the battle. By the way, there are so many Seven Samurai clones. Mando did it. There's a Western one where it's the Magnificent Seven.
yeah,
Uh, what else? Rebel Moon. They're doing that too. Um, there's just so many
yeah.
movies and
Pick
shows that.
a
Uh,
thing where it's like a few versus many, and it's a movie,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, it's 300. It's Mando. This episode, it's Rebel Moon. You're right. Magnificent Seven, both versions with Chris Pratt and the other one with Charles Bronson. You're like, yeah, I get it, and I see why
yeah,
it's such an inspiration because it's such a compelling thing to be like one versus many. Fucking Rogue One, of like
yeah.
the few versus a massive, indestructible force that seems invincible.
Yeah. And like, yeah, then that's the whole thing. But their entire theme is they're trying to condense that entire story of Seven Samurai into maybe one episode or one movie. And how they do it is by gathering everything that they need, and the entire journey leads up to one day,
Yeah,
one battle, and whatever happens in that battle, uh, is like, oh, the win or lose kind of outcome. with the original Seven Samurai, it felt like a war.
Yeah,
It straight up felt like a war where it just went on for days. And I was like, oh my god! I like first time watching, I was like, oh my god! I didn't know it was like this.
right?
Like I've seen too many Seven Samurai clones where it would usually again just last one battle, and they'll be like, "Yay, we survived." This shit's rough. You'll see farmers turn into soldiers,
Yeah,
and it's not like a pregnant lady knowing how to learn kung fu and like using a pot and pan, or like a chef. It's not in a cartoonish way. Again, it's like strategically like military and everything.
yeah. They're just like, you have sharp bamboo spears. Good luck against these bandits. You're like, what do you mean good luck?
Yeah, you fucking use them.
Yeah,
Now, that's the thing though. Like, I love it that they work with what they got.
yeah,
They don't have all of the armor, the weapons. They just work with what they got, and then like whichever with anything that they could plunder,
yeah.
they use it to their advantage. And like that's fucking sick just to see where they would get rifles and then they would use those.
Also, what's rough is that before the battle, like they burn the bandit stronghold, but out comes like the wives of the villagers. You're like, well, that's fucked. What the fuck do we do now? Well, shit. Yeah, and then we lose one of the seven samurai before that, and you're like, well, I guess there's six now. Shit, what do we
By
do?
the way, yeah, okay. A little bit of a spoiler. We'll get there when we get there, but like, we lose four of
Yeah,
the seven samurai. I don't know how one of them died.
Yeah.
I think I just got a little lost within the fray, or I think the black and white. Just I couldn't identify who is dead.
oh, like towards the end, or like the one.
Yeah. No. Towards the end, I know who the main characters that died, which is
Mifune
um,
and Kayuzo.
not yeah. Keizo and Mifune, but there was another one that died, and he got killed off screen.
Yeah,
He just comes back in like like a carton. It's just like, oh no, what happened? There was
yeah,
another guy that died, and I don't know who. I
Yeah.
can't pinpoint what happened.
yeah. Said there's the first guy who died before the battle.
There was a guy who died before the battle.
Yeah, after the village, they burned down the bandit stronghold, and he gets shot. Some way, somehow, he gets shot by a musket.
Is that the one again on the cart?
No, that's the one that again they burned the bandits stronghold, and then he got shot, and then Mifune is like, "You fucking idiot! This is why you don't go back for your wife, who, though you have every right to protect her, you don't expose us out in the open."
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was him. Sorry, I thought it was like one of the villagers.
Yeah. I do feel bad for Mifune because he tries to do the same thing Kayusu did, but then when he comes back with a musket, they're like, "Why did you abandon your post, you idiot?" You're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh man," he just feels jealous. Leave him alone.
Yeah, and Mifune. Oh, sorry, not Mifune. What's his name?
The leader,
No, the Musashi guy.
Kayuzo.
Kaiuso like does it in like the most badass way too.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
By the way, Mifune's character here, he's a little out there. I would say like I don't know if like that was the humor back in the day, but
Yeah.
I found his character a little bit annoying. But he does warm up to you, and I guess that's the whole plot.
Yeah.
And
So by the time he does this badass thing where he just charges the guy with the musket, just stabs
Yeah.
in, you're like, ah, fuck, we lost Mifune. Jesus Christ, this battle really is a tough one. We really
Yeah.
lost a lot of good men.
dude, like even for god damn it, I keep forgetting his name.
Kayuzo?
Kaiuso. God damn it. His was so fucking sudden.
Yeah.
Like again, you just get shot and just collapse. Like he swings his sword a bit, but then he collapses, and it was like, and you see the kid who kind of looked up to him,
Yeah.
like was just so destroyed.
Yeah, because the youth, by that time, they are already like, alright, we've dwindled the bandits' numbers to like a manageable number, so we can just kill them off tomorrow. And they get to that number, and you're like, alright, we're done. And then poor Kayu just gets sniped and you're like, what the fuck? No,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. And then Mifune's character just gets shot in the gut,
Yeah,
and he gets it. He gets the last guy, but like
yeah,
again, he dies in the process, and it's a little bit sad because it doesn't hit you yet.
yeah,
Like by the end of this, like the farmers are playing music, they're going back into like managing their crops, and it looks like a win. Like yeah, we fought off the big guy. Sure, there's a couple of losses, but then you go back to Kande, and he's like, oh, for these peasants, it's a win for them,
yeah,
for sure. But for us, it's still a loss. And then he looks up, and the four graves.
yeah.
And I was like, not gonna lie, badass shot. Second, very sad.
Yeah. It's not like an overwhelming victory where the samurai just come in and kill all the bandits, and that's very easily what this movie could have been, or where Akira Kurosawa could have taken it. But the fact that he made it so realistic, like even though they are samurai, they're still very human, and they can just be taken out just like that. And like by the end, he's like, yeah, technically we won, but at what cost? Like there used to be
Yeah.
7 of us, now there's 3. 2 of us can't even are like just too old for this shit, and then one's just like too young, has just experienced his first taste of battle. So what do we do now?
And yeah, it's not a win situation for our main characters. Yeah.
Yeah,
They go home with lesser friends. One kid fell in love with a girl, and this girl, I like just kind of just wants to brush that night over because it might have been her biggest mistake in her life. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like yeah, and yeah, the love team between the young samurai and the village girl, it never happens.
yeah,
So, but yeah, so that's like the whole point of the story is like nobody really wins in a battle.
yeah.
Like,
There are no victors in war, which I appreciate, especially this coming from Japan, who at this point in history they're like, we understand that clearly.
very clearly.
Yeah. But yeah, this again one of those movies where you watch once and you just take it all in. You're like, I need to think about this for a few days. Like just sit there in the corner. It doesn't help. I watched this during lockdown, so I'm just like, I have no one. I can't go outside and walk and think about this. I just have to be at home, being like, huh.
You got sulk in your room. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, what would you rate Seven Samurai?
Oh, it was a toughie because like I do love this movie. I really do. There's a lot of good points here, and the battles are very realistic. And even though it wasn't the time yet for these characters to die, I did feel like are they gonna get hit
Yeah.
or something. By the way, kudos to that one actor who just took the brunt of a horse. I don't know if you saw that,
Yeah.
but a horse was like coming in. This guy was just like ah, and gets hit by it. That is not special effects. That is an accident caught on camera. I swear to God. So I really hope that actor was okay after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then again, this movie is like
From the 50s.
from the 50s. So again, hopefully he made it.
Yeah. Hopefully
but yeah.
live a peaceful life after that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, the battles were realistic. I would say it is slow. It is a very long build up, but again, you kind of just take it in.
Yeah.
If you have the time, if you're not rushing, if you just want to just take in old cinema, this is the thing. Like this is it.
Yeah.
I would say. And like, I know I would complain about like, oh, there's no music when there's a battle. There's no, it takes a lot of time, and there's like maybe a period of time where nobody's talking and it's just a person walking back and forth.
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, it's a bit of a waste of film. I would say that if this movie was made today, but like at the same time, it does help you immerse yourself into the world. It's black and white, but yet you kind of felt the world.
Yeah.
You kind of knew how the trees looked, how the colors would feel, and the environment itself, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love Kurosawa movies, and I love this one, and I could see why it influenced a lot. And I would say I gotta give it a 10 out of 10. I have a lot of complaints, oddly enough, but then again, I can't give it any score lower because it's made in the 50s.
Yeah.
It is written so well. It is the choreography is also really good. Sure, I get it. They can't really shove an entire samurai sword into somebody. We can't do that yet. You just see them poke a guy and they're like, ah,
Yeah. That's one of the few nitpicks for the overacting. Like, you're like, all right, sure, whatever, buddy. Um,
yeah.
You know what? Same here. I definitely cannot see myself giving this anything lower than 10 out of 10. Like, the main thing is for me is that the philosophy of this movie really shines through. Like, yeah, it is from 1954. That makes it, Jesus Christ, that makes it 70 years old. But, like, when you really think about everything that's been said, everything that's been done, and appreciate the fact that I really do like the fact that even though they are samurai, they are not mythical. They're not like, yes, I will protect the village. They're literally like people you find literally on the side of the street of like, hey man, can you help me with this thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh sure.
Or just some junker that just comes in and posing as a samurai.
Yeah. They're not like some lord or some prince of a kingdom that's like, I will do this because it is my duty to protect the people. They're just like, yeah man, I need food and money. And you're like, I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
the bittersweet ending I really do like, and again you do see how so many Last Stand movies get their influence of like either Last Stand or like again the few against the many type of movies are influenced, and you're just like, yeah, it can all be traced back to Seven Samurai and Akira Kurosawa, and he definitely is one of the greatest directors who ever has lived. Like him, Steven Spielberg. Now we got Denis Villeneuve, and like a shit ton of others too, who are
Yeah.
in that like platinum tier of like greatest directors ever. Um, but yeah, since we've been talking about generation defining movies, what do you think is a movie that defines your generation?
Fine.
Yeah, or we're several years apart, so I guess ours.
I guess. I would say Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Like, that legit defined the 90s. And then we get, like, the second movie as well.
Yeah. I would say growing up, two movies that are really like generation defining is either The Dark Knight or The First Avengers, because that set up a trend of a lot of things.
Oh, okay, we're going that early. Okay.
I mean, Jurassic Park's
I thought you
great
meant
too.
when I came out. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Jurassic Park's great too. I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, anything else to add before we wrap this up?
No?
All
I
right.
feel like we've said all of our praises.
All right. But yeah, that's been our video for Seven Samurai. If you like our videos, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the video ends with on Letterboxd and Zoda's voices on TikTok. Where can they find you?
Or you can find me at JohnGM _ on Instagram. It is my art account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.